I'm Julie. I'm the Director of Sustainability and Social Impact at Free People, and today we are in our gorgeous New York City showroom for a socially distant chat with an incredible woman who is a mentor to hundreds of thousands of women across North America. And today we welcome Dr. Stephanie Hull, the President and CEO of Girls Inc.
Thank you, Julie. It's great to be here. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yes, it's such a treat to have you, even if we're 6 feet apart today.
It's true.
Stephanie, can you tell us a bit about Girls Inc. in general and your mission of inspiring all girls to be strong, smart, and bold, and what that really means in practice?
Yes, Girls Inc. is an organization that works with girls from some of the most vulnerable demographics. We do, as you said, inspire them to be strong, smart, and bold. And we work in 1,600 sites in 350 cities with about 135,000 girls, making sure that the girls have mentoring and are participating in research-based programming that helps them form these habits and have these experiences that really lead to their independence and to their leadership. The other way in which we work with girls is through advocacy. So we've got a public policy office in Washington, D.C. that promotes policy at the local, state, and national level that helps girls, that policies that may stand in the way if they're not properly addressed, of the freedoms and of the opportunities of the girls that we are working with. We believe that it is the right of girls to feel self-confident, to be leaders, and we're at all levels looking for ways to make sure that they have the opportunities to advance in the world, to feel that sense of physical safety, to feel that intellectual confidence, to have the right supports, the right adults in their lives, so that they can really make possible what they were born to make possible.
Aligned to discovering that full potential, we've seen so many of your girls from your community speaking in front of thousands of people with this confidence as if they had been doing it all their lives and they were grown adults, and understanding that they're 18 years old, not even graduated. It's just, it blows us away.
And I would say it's even more impressive to see these girls in action when you think about some of the challenges that they're facing. About 62% of the girls we serve are coming from families where the income is under $30,000 a year. About 17% of them are coming from families where the income level is below $10,000 a year. And the vast majority of them, about 75% of them, identify as girls of color. So everybody knows, especially now, that systemic racism is one of the barriers. Poverty is one of the barriers to success for young people, for girls in particular. So when you think about what they've had to face and the obstacles that they've had to overcome, they're particularly impressive. And I think what's new and what's great is to be in conversation with them. I really feel strongly about not doing things for them, especially when you meet these girls. It's not even tempting to do things for them. It's actually tempting to get a notebook out and just sort of, figure out what can we learn today. But really, honestly, to work with them, to think about what would benefit them best. When we talk to them about the advocacy that they're interested in the world, they are wanting to combat bullying and sexual violence and sexual assault. They're wanting us to help advance women's reproductive health, girls' mental health. These are things that matter to them, but they matter to us too.
I know the Girls Too campaign was something that was very strong, and it's still very strong advocacy work that you have worked in. And some of our community saw our stores convert into Girls Too hubs over the last 2 Giving Tuesdays as well. And that campaign, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. Well, that was a connection that we were making to say that sexual violence and sexual abuse do definitely affect girls who are much younger, although people don't really like to think about that. In fact, a lot of the work we are doing most recently has to do with the current continuation of that. The Title IX regulations that are coming out are problematic for sexual abuse survivors, for example, who are in school. Some of the legislation that's being put forward about what happens when sexual assault takes place in schools is going to disadvantage girls who are survivors, as opposed to making an even playing ground between an accuser and a victim. Even in terms of the atmosphere that it creates, in terms of being in a school where you know that those are the rules, the threat that kind of persists when you know if this happens that you won't be able to get help, and that further you could be in trouble. Because if you tell somebody that it happened, then that means it happened and it wasn't allowed to happen on school grounds, and therefore you've done something wrong before you've even explained what's been done to you. So we're really trying, to have that conversation. I mean, that's been a big part of it.
For our community, for those that love Girls Inc. as much as we do and want to get involved, how can we get involved and support all the good work that you're doing?
I would say first, it's an opportunity to say thank you to you and to Free People, because the best thing I think for Girls Inc., certainly we're a nonprofit and we always are looking for donations and support financially, but partnership is a really important part of this conversation. We love to know what's out in the world, what is possible for our girls to learn about, what would you like to learn from our girls? How can we be part of a conversation together about how to make this world better? So if you care about girls, certainly support Girls Inc., girlsinc.org, but also vote and support their rights. Be involved with them if you can find ways to mentor them, if you can find ways to be in conversation with them. I spoke to a bunch of young girls yesterday who are still in college, and when people say, how can you engage, and then they say donate, those girls don't have funds to donate. But they are some of the most active advocates for girls that you're ever going to find, because they lend their voices, they lend their social media accounts, they go out and they protest and they march and they participate. And those are all things I think anybody can do.
That's wonderful. So vote, have the conversations, donate if you can, follow along our journey of our partnership, because this isn't going anywhere. This is going to stick around for a long time.
And we thank you so much for that. It's wonderful.
We thank you so much. I know our community loves you guys as much as we do, and we want to thank our community as well, because they've been a really big part of this entire journey. I mean, every single day, 1% of our Free People Movement proceeds are donated straight to Girls Inc., so you all have been helping that. A lot of our community also attended the programming initiatives and events, so I just want to say thank you. And of course, thank you, Stephanie Hull. Thank you for coming here today. It's such a pleasure and a treat, and we look forward to all the work that we're going to be doing together.
Thank you, Julie, and Free People. We couldn't do it without you, and we look forward to many more years.